Dying is easy. A fool can do it, and does, and is at this moment dying easily. It takes no effort. It occurs out of accord with will, even if we force it with a mouth of steel or a shopping cart of sleeping pills. The limbs arrest, and then we are still, unbuckled and free to move about the cosmos. Dying is easy because the consequences are unknown. It could mean anything. You may emerge encircled by everyone you know, or completely and utterly alone. Your decisions while here may or may not change anything. And it doesn't surprise me that an act against the living, such as jumping off a tall building, would result in the breaking of our laws, because dying is easy and living is so hard, and the two exist together as a seemingly related double feature at a theater near the city limits of the universe. Hard Living, Tenderloin. This next poem is called Evening Bloom. There are no evening blooms in the downtown. Can I just mention that I love that this music is bumping? It's like writing. It's the same process, writing and bumping music. Yeah. There are no evening blooms in the downtown, but there are white lips that stretch out from their stems like moon vines and feed in the twice-removed light below the shade of the transplanted oaks of Leavenworth Street. And who are we to say that the birth of a flower is not a scream, like the one that woke me from my dreams last night to plead with the air for it all to stop, before stumbling away from my window into the ever-darkening night. There is a serenity in having distance from another's pain. So I become thoroughly dispassionate and let her grow in partial shade into a monument of desperation, as if from her distance I can come closer to my own, approaching it slowly like some feral creature who has carved out its territory in a dim corner of my home. So I've lived in the Tenderloin for 3 years now, and I have, like many people that live there, a love-hate relationship with the neighborhood. Sometimes I feel like I couldn't imagine being anywhere else, and sometimes I feel like I was a tourist the whole time. You know? And so this poem is about that. It's called Dear Miss Tenderloin. Monday morning, the sun hasn't shone in my window in a week. The other night there was a flash of light, then an explosion on O'Farrell Street, later gunshots. This is not a social commentary. Dear Ms. Tenderloin, drinking a bottle of Andre on a Saturday night when a fire broke out in front of the bar with the password and the dress code. I went out there in my sweatpants and a to-go cup, just as the firefighters were winding their hoses up. And all the suits on the manicured corner of Jones Street looked like they were trying to avoid the gaze of a ghost as they stood outside the bar, puffing their cigarettes into the cheap air, fixated on some arbitrary point in the distance, like trained performers. Did we smile there? It felt like old times. Dear Miss Tenderloin, I thought you were mine, but last night I saw you dancing with cocaine in the doorway of the Lincoln Hotel, his powdery lips bunched up against yours, his vim in your bloodstream like sperm swimming upstream. Can you hear me when I talk to you like this? Sometimes I think you can, but it has been so long since I felt at home in your arms. I was younger, this is true, and I quickly became enamored with everything about you. I spent my sunrises on your floors, picking out a tune, that the neighbors on the other end of the air shaft sang along to, sitting on their kitchen floor. And I walked out the front door, and as you slowly came to, your arms were tattooed with crosstown traffic. Dear Ms. Tenderloin, I shoveled pizza into my face at 1:30 in the morning. I spun around on a smoke-blanketed dance floor, bright dresses, buttoned collars in the bomb shelters of backroom clubs, made love to strangers with the graceless ineptitude of a virgin, all to be nearer to you. I thought we had an understanding, and I was so relieved to return to you after getting hustled out of a 20 for a bag of weed I never wanted by a busboy in Chinatown whose remaining teeth must have been erected on landfill before the big earthquake hit. And my lover and I sit, leaning out on a ledge overlooking Shannon Alley, and I watched you slide your sad fingers up the shirt of an old girl in a Goodwill miniskirt with embroidered pearls on it. And you gave her a panged relief that was feverish and bittersweet, a covenant of madness that made it easier for her to spill her guts back out onto the street. And you sponged them up, propelled by the heavy rain. They swirled down the drain into the bowels of your wide belly. Stop yourself if you're thinking of telling me that everything and nothing is the same. I know this is true, but I am not a tourist. And somehow still I am not a part of you. Miss Tenderloin, perhaps you have endeavored to love us all equally. You are San Francisco's Statue of Liberty. But sometimes I look at these streets and I feel like the runt of the litter clamoring to feed on the busy sacrifice of your defeated body. Do you hear that? Not that. William Bell is singing a two-step out of the speakers facing the window of a 12-story tenement on Geary Street. You don't miss your water until your well runs dry. I'm not altogether sure if I'm hungry anymore. Exiting the liquor store, I spill my change onto the street and don't pick it up.